The United Nations Secretary-General warns that negotiations are needed to pull the world back from the brink after US-Israeli attacks on Iran and the retaliatory strikes that followed. António Guterres made the comments during an emergency session of the United Nations Security Council and criticised all three actors. The US's ambassador to the UN said that so far negotiations with Iran had been futile.
American diplomacy was attempted repeatedly and in good faith. President Trump, Secretary Rubio, our special envoys, Witkoff and Kushner, were relentlessly dedicated to diplomacy. But diplomacy cannot succeed where there is no genuine willingness to cease aggression, where there is no genuine partner for peace.
But Iran's permanent representative, who was invited to Saturday's emergency session, pushed back.
The United States regime jointly and in coordination with the Israeli regime initiated an unprovoked and premeditated aggression against the Islamic Republic of Iran for the second time in the recent months, while deliberately attacking civilian populated areas in multiple large cities of Iran where millions of people reside. As a result of this brutal armed attack, hundreds of civilians have been killed and injured.
For the Israelis, they refute suggestions that it was an unprovoked attack. They say it was Iran's behaviour in the region, including arming proxies, expending missiles and drones, and advancing its nuclear programme. They were the real reasons for escalation, and that action needed to be taken.
Unfortunately, we have heard condemnations from some members of this Council and from the UN Secretary General. That is hypocrisy. Israel and the US act to prevent an irreversible and immediate threat, and the condemnation is immediate. Some call this aggression, we call it necessity. We call it survival.
As pressure continues, there are still no current signs that any side is willing to back